everybody, thanks for joining me today. My name is Kirsten and I'm just going to lead you through a short flow to open up your back body and to just generally relieve tension after a long day of work. So when you're ready, all you'll need is a mat, and we'll go ahead and get started sitting on our shins. So knees down, shins down, and just releasing your tush back to your heels. If this is not possible, that's okay. You can try and put a blanket or a block or something in between your heels, and sitting on top of that can be helpful. Otherwise, just sitting cross-legged or whatever seat works for you. We'll just close our eyes, resting our hands on our thighs. And we'll just take a moment to start to notice our breath. Start to be aware of how your inhales and exhales are feeling today. Maybe your breath is quite shallow and anxious. Maybe you're sleepy. Your breath feels long and tired. Whatever it is, you don't need to change it, just be aware of it. And we'll take a few deep breaths together, exhaling to prepare, and then inhaling, stretching your lungs to full capacity, inhaling all the way to the bottom of your lungs, and as you get to the top, pause, and then exhale, open mouth, big sigh, releasing all of that air. Inhaling again, full capacity, stretching your lungs as far as they can. And at the top, pause for just a moment. And a big exhale, open mouth. One more, just like that. Inhaling slowly, feeling the lungs, letting the belly expand. Pausing at the top. And then a big sigh of relief. Letting your breath return to normal. Keeping your eyes closed, we'll start to just roll through our neck. So bringing your chin to your chest. Just releasing your head and your neck and rolling through, just bringing your chest to roll across, or your chin to roll across your chest a few times. Waking up the back of your neck. And then we'll go through some full rolls. So bringing your chin to center, down towards your chest, and then just slowly bring your head to face towards the left side of your body. And when you can't turn your head anymore, start to lift your chin up to the sky and roll your head around with your chin facing up all the way to the left. When you get to your left shoulder, tuck your chin again, and then slowly roll your head all the way back to center. This time to the left. Turning your head to face your left shoulder. Once you can't turn anymore, lifting your chin off of your shoulder, up towards the sky and rolling through towards the right. Tucking your chin all the way back to center. One more on each side, so this time to the right. Looking towards your right shoulder, lifting your chin up, curling your head all the way around to the left, and then tucking your head back to center, and then back towards the left. Looking towards your left shoulder, chin to the ceiling, looking towards the right, and then chin back to center. We'll get off of our knees here and come into a tabletop position. So your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, and just rolling through your spine a little bit here. You can do some cat-cows with me if you'd like. Tilting your tailbone up to the sky and pulling your chest through your arms. And then exhaling, tucking your tailbone, rolling through your spine to arch your back, chin to your chest. And then moving from your tailbone again, tilting it to the sky as you pull your chest through. Really just waking up your spine here. And then tucking your tailbone, arching your back all the way to the base of your neck. You can do a couple more like that, or you can start to just roll through your spine organically, finding all the sticky spots in your back, trying to move through that. Just releasing any tension that you have built up. And then we'll sit back to our heels, this time keeping our toes tucked. Again, this might not be possible, that's okay. You can do any seated variation. Keeping your toes tucked will be a good stretch on the arches of your feet and on your toes. So think about really planting your big toe down and trying to pull your heels towards each other. Sitting tall here. And then rising both arms overhead, palms touch. I'll turn to face you for this. You're going to drop your right arm to the ground as you lift your left arm to the sky and then pull it overhead towards the right. So we're getting a nice long left side body, feeling a stretch from the hip to the fingertips. Keeping our hips pulling up out of our legs here. And then bringing both arms back overhead and releasing our left arm down to the ground. Right arm pulls up further and then over towards the left. Breathing here. Nice big stretch in the right side body. And then bringing both arms overhead. We'll drop our right arm back to the ground, this time reaching our left hand to grab onto our right ear. So just cupping your right ear. Your right hand might not reach the ground, that's okay. We're just going to let gravity pull our head towards the left. So our left hand is pulling on our right ear. Releasing into the right side of your neck and your shoulder. Breathing here nice and deep to open up this area. One more inhale. Exhaling, releasing. Both arms up overhead. And then our left hand reaches down and our right arm reaches over to grasp onto our left ear, pulling our head down towards the right. Nice stretch in the left side of your neck. Eyes closed, just breathing into the neck here. Nice deep breaths. Then inhaling both arms overhead. Bring a little back bend into this, just reaching your hands back behind you. And exhaling, releasing, crawling back into your tabletop position. And from here we'll bring our hands one palm length ahead of where they are. We'll tuck our toes and then rise our hips up and back into a downward dog, pushing out of our hands, bending into our knees. And then slowly lowering our left heel to the ground and rising it up and switching our right heel to the ground, just pedaling through our legs here. Releasing through the backs of our legs. Still pushing through our hands. A couple pedals here and then just finding your downward dog. One breath here. And then inhaling, our right leg lifts off of the ground. And we're going to step it through to right outside of our right hand. So step it up as far as you can and then pick it up and just pull it even further until it's outside your right hand. And then drop your back knee. Tend to your fingertips and pull your chest through your arms. Keeping a long spine here. And feeling a nice stretch in the front of your left leg, so right at your hip flexors. Maybe even into your right leg as well. And just breathing into wherever the line of tension is for you. You can drop your palms to the ground, or you can stay on your fingertips. And then we'll slowly straighten into our left leg, bringing our hips back behind us. Keeping a long spine and trying to pull our chest forwards. So not worrying about where if our head reaches our toes, as much as keeping a long spine and stretching out of our hips. Might feel nice on your right hamstring, the back of your right leg. Nice deep breaths. Whenever your mind starts to wander, just come back to your breath. Focusing on expanding your inhales and relieving tension through your exhales. And bending back into your right knee, we'll just go for our hip flexor stretch on the left one more time. Tending your fingertips, pulling your chest through. Maybe if you're feeling really flexible, coming down to your forearms. Maybe just onto your hands. Whatever feels right to you, that's where you should go. And then lifting your back knee off of the ground, we're going to step our left foot right outside of our left hand. Bending into your knees, tucking your chin, and dropping your head towards the ground. We're going to keep a big bend in our knees as we slowly roll our spine vertebra by vertebra all the way to standing. Head and neck come up last. And when you reach the top, inhaling your arms overhead above you, palms touch. And exhaling, bringing them towards your chest. Nice deep inhale here. And exhaling. Inhaling, arms out wide and up overhead. Palms touch. And exhaling, bending into your knees and rolling back down into your forward fold. When you get here, opposite hand will grab your opposite elbow. Release your head and your neck all the way down, bending into your knees deeply so that your torso is touching your thighs, if that's possible. And just relaxing into this pose. Deep breaths into your back body, trying to lengthen the area all the way from your hips to your shoulders. And then dropping our hands back to the ground, we'll step both feet back and find a tabletop position again. And then bending into your elbows, slowly lower your chest right between your hands and then let your chin drop to the ground. And then pulling your body through your arms, a very slight baby cobra, pushing into your hands and the tops of your feet and your hips, pulling your chest through. And then bending back into your knees, finding tabletop position, tucking the toes into downward dog. Pedaling out here again for just a moment. And then inhaling our left leg up to the sky and then exhaling, pulling it through right outside of our left hand. Dropping our right knee, tenting our fingertips and pulling our chest through. Rising out of our waist. Maybe feeling the stretch in the right hip flexor, Maybe in the left hip flexor, maybe somewhere else, that's okay. Just breathe into that area. Deep breaths. Keeping your spine nice and long. Coming down onto your palms if you'd like, or staying on your fingertips. And then slowly straightening through your left leg, leaning back. And keeping your spine nice and long, maybe rising your toes off the ground, reaching them towards the ceiling. As you pull your chest forward, maybe keeping a little bend in your left knee so you don't hurt your knee as you stretch your hamstring here. But just pulling through the lines of tension and breathing into those areas. And then bending back into your left knee, pulling your chest through one more time. Maybe coming down onto your forearms, maybe staying on your hands. Deep breaths. And then when you're ready, your palms will plant, lifting your back knee and bringing your right foot outside of your right hand again, finding that forward fold, really bent knees, really rounded spine, and then slowly rolling all the way back up to standing, head and neck come up last. Inhaling your arms out and overhead, and exhaling, hands to heart center. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Inhaling, arms out wide and overhead. And exhaling, rolling back down again, deep bend in your knees, letting your torso touch your thighs as you grab your opposite elbows and release through your head and neck. Just sitting here, maybe rocking from left to right. And then planting your palms, stepping back, letting your knees find the ground, and then bending your elbows, bringing your chest between your hands and your chin to the floor, and then pulling your chest through. Tops of the feet find the ground, pushing into your hips and your hands, baby cobra. And then leaning back into a child's pose this time. Your toes touch, knees out wide, and pulling your body through your legs. Bringing your forehead or your chin to touch the mat. Just releasing here. And then we'll crawl forwards. We're just going to find a seat. So however you can swivel yourself around. We're going to bring our legs straight out in front of us. Sitting tall. And then actually pull your heels in towards you, bending your knees. Attach your torso onto your thighs. Grab the bottoms of your feet. And then try to slowly walk your feet out as far as they can go. Wherever you stop, wherever you can't go any further, just release. Let your head and your neck fall and release into your back body. Maybe you're all the way down to the ground, maybe you're not. But just let your neck release. Feel a nice stretch along your whole back. And breathe into your lower back here. Try and bring awareness to that area. Rising up out of this, and then just slowly we'll grab the back, we'll bend our knees again and grab the backs of our legs just underneath our knees and slowly roll our spines all the way down, vertebra by vertebra, till our head touches the ground onto our backs, and then pulling your knees into your chest, just rolling around on your spine here, really connecting the lower back to the ground. And then letting your knees fall towards the left. Arms out wide into a reclined twist. Taking a moment to breathe here. Into the spine, into the hips, into everything that we've worked through today. Trying to ground your right shoulder towards the floor, keeping your left hip grounded. You can grab your right knee with your left hand, maybe, and pull it down a little bit. And then inhaling, rising your knees back to center, just rolling around a little bit more on your back here. Whenever you're ready, you can drop your knees over to the right side, extending your arms out in a T, looking over your left shoulder. Maybe your right hand grabs onto your left knee. But really just expanding your breath all the way through your rib cage. Releasing your lower back. A few more breaths here. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel now. Bringing your knees back to center. We'll just shoot them down to the ground into our Shavasana. So you can bring your heels out wide, letting your toes fall to the sides of your mat. Hands out wide, palms facing upwards. Take a deep clearing breath, inhaling full capacity all the way, stretching through your rib cage, and then exhaling, big sigh, relief. Just noticing how your breath is now. Hopefully it's feeling a little smoother. Hopefully you feel a little more open, a little less tense. I'm going to leave you in Shavasana today. You can stay as long as you'd like. I'd encourage you to stay as long as you can and just take this time to notice your breath and notice how it's changed over the course of the last 20 minutes. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions. Namaste.